Just getting towards 12:30 now. We need to reflect on Mayo's triumph in the All-Ireland Senior Football with that title win over Kerry. Gone down in history for reasons that Sean McAndrew is going to explain, a Mayo fan. Sean, lovely to have you on. Just set the context here, because it's all about the curse.
Thank you, Adrian. Yeah. I mean, still in a bit of a nostalgic haze here, but Mayo had won 3 All-Irelands. So they won in 1936. They went again in 1948, where my father's brother Pat were controversially beaten in that final. And then in 1950 and 1951, the team won the Senior All-Ireland football final. And for, I think, 75 years since then, 11 finals, not with any lack of effort. They just always seem to, drop at the end, the final hurdle in those finals. And after a few of those failed finals, there was a talk of a curse, and what it was supposedly from the 1951 final, when the team were coming back, and given this was like rural Ireland, coming back on apparently a open flatbed lorry with the team. Apparently there was a funeral in Foxford, County Mayo. Apparently the team didn't give enough respect at that time, and whether it was, they say the priest at the time put a curse on it and said that for as long as any of those players were still alive, Mayo would never win another senior All-Ireland football final.
But sort of in a slightly vaguely macabre twist, it actually came true. We lost the last of that team and that squad very recently, didn't we? And then you go and win it.
He did, yeah. And there's a hell of a lot of expectation on the players who played since then, and it's probably unfair on them. I went over with my dad when he could travel. He would have been 99 this month actually. And I took my son over, and he was only about 8 or 9 years old, and we were coming back from another failed final, walking in the centre of Dublin, just opposite Trinity College. And we waited to cross the road, and my son had the green and red Mayo scarf on, and an old lady, probably in about the 60s, looked over, sort of rolled her eyes, and then while we were still waiting, she said, maybe next year. And then under her breath, she said, we might need to get rid of a few of them. And I sort of went, oh, you mean his grandfather? And she didn't believe me. She was taken aback or whatever. But it just shows you that, at one point he got that sort of, serious that people almost believed that they almost wanted to, the worst thing to happen, just to try and break that curse.
And we should point out that your dad won 2 All-Ireland football titles in the 50s. Then he moved to the West Midlands, hence your accent. And I understand you went to school across the road from me. So I didn't know you were suffering over there. I would have come and given you a hug if I'd known, waiting for Mayo to do it. So, I mean, you've got your late father's there looking on. You're there at the game. There's so much loaded on this. Kerry are brilliant, and I think they went ahead, didn't they? Did you lose hope? Yeah. Did you lose hope at any stage?
No, I mean, I would say when you see them go ahead, but I mean, as you say, they're a great team. There was expectation because the Mayo team this year were young, and maybe they didn't have that sort of pressure on them. I mean, the county for the last few weeks has gone absolutely crazy. You'll see pictures of cars and even sheep painted green or red. Mayo's one of the counties in Ireland where there was more emigration probably than any other county, along with Donegal. So what you found is there's people across the diaspora of the world who, they have the Mayo Gaelic as their connection with home. Mm-hmm. So that's why it means so much to so many people.
Right. So unless we've just got the winning moment here, you might want to use this as your ringtone in future or something, Sean. Let's just have a listen.
This is unbelievable. 3 points down. Kerry have got to go for goal. The ball is over the sideline. The linesman says no. He's trying down. It's all over. Oh my God. I can't believe it. Mayo champions of 2026.
My word, my goose flesh has come up all over me listening to that. I mean, the commentator, once he said, holy God, I mean, you know, you've reached 11 out of 10 on the dial then, haven't you? There's nowhere to go.
I know, and Adrian, sort of McAndrew's a big brute for players as well, and, you know, I shed a tear on almost welling up there now.
Okay, well, listen, I'm sure the celebrations are ongoing. Thanks very much indeed for coming on. Really nice speaking to you. That's Mayo fan Sean McAndrew with a lot to celebrate. It's just gone